Life and death are two of the few things everyone must face, yet their meaning remains unclear. In Hamlet by William Shakespeare, the young Prince of Denmark grapples with grief and anger following his father's murder, which pushes him to reflect deeply on life and its end. Hamlet's ideas about death and the value of human life increasingly shape his actions throughout the play. The theme of mortality is portrayed as uncertain but inevitable through soliloquies and other important speeches, with three of the most meaningful moments appearing in Acts 1, 3, and 5. Hamlet first reflects on death in Act 1 when he says, "Oh, that this too solid flesh would melt, thaw, and resolve itself into a dew." Hamlet wishes that he could simply disappear, almost as if his body's a burden. These thoughts about suicide highlight how overwhelmed he feels after his father's death and his mother's quick remarriage. He doesn't clearly say that he wants to kill himself, but he imagines death as an escape from pain. Hamlet's thoughts at this point in the story suggest that he is indifferent to the value of life and hasn't thought much about his own mortality. His uncertainty proves how little he understands about death. Later in the play, Hamlet's famous to be or not to be speech explores a deeper and more careful examination of these same thoughts. Hamlet's thoughts about mortality become much more direct in Act 3 when he soliloquizes, "To be or not to be, that is the question." And then, "To die, to sleep, no more, and by a sleep to say we end." Here he openly weighs whether it's better to live or die, which is a deeper level of reflection than in his earlier speech. He compares death to sleep, which suggests that he sees it as a possible escape from suffering, yet much like sleeping, it is very mysterious. He doesn't know whether living through hardships is better than being dead, which illustrates his deep uncertainty and fear about the unknown revolving mortality. This fear is what keeps him from taking any major actions. Shakespeare further develops the theme of mortality by forcing Hamlet to literally confront death. In Act 5, Hamlet picks up the skull of an old friend and says,
"Alas, poor Yorick. I knew him, Horatio. A fellow of infinite jest, of most excellent fancy. He hath borne me on his back 1,000 times. And now how abhorred in my imagination it is."
Yorick, the former king's jester, was once full of life, but now he's just an inanimate and abhorred pile of bones. Although Hamlet has already spent most of the play theorizing and contemplating mortality, this is the moment he truly realizes the significance of death. He now understands that no matter how lively someone is, they will die eventually. Throughout the entirety of Hamlet, Shakespeare presents mortality as both unavoidable and deeply uncertain, shaping Hamlet's thoughts and actions as he struggles to understand the meaning of life and death. In Act 1, Hamlet reacts to grief by wishing he could just cease to exist, expressing confusion and suffering more than anything else. By Act 3, though, he debates with himself whether living or dying is better, revealing his fear of the unknown. Finally, in Act 5, when he holds Yorick's skull, he confronts the morbid reality of death and recognizes that all people, no matter their status, share the same end. Shakespeare suggests that although death cannot be avoided, the struggle to understand it is an important part of being human.